Welcome back. Eric Arnold here on this Thursday, Halloween, October 31st. Oh, in the afternoon. Another episode of the Politics Barn. I'm ready for this to be over. I'm just kind of worn out. I'm burned out on this election stuff. This has been going on for 2 years. It never stops. I mean, essentially, with today's Democrat Party, they never stop campaigning. They never take a break. They're always trying to get one up on you, trying to win the next election. It's just one long campaign. And I guess that's just the battle we now have to fight, because they will never stop. They're never going to give us a break. They're going to try to win through attrition. So yeah, I'm tired. I won't lie, I'm tired. I don't really have an agenda today. This is just stream of consciousness type stuff. Do I still think Trump's going to win? Yes, although there's some things I'm seeing that are bothering me. In the past 12 hours, he has dropped precipitously in the poly market betting market. He was up as high as 66%. I think that should be upwards of 80. And now he's dropped down to around 61. I can't figure out why. Did something happen that I don't know about? Really, there's nothing that I think is in the news that's hurting Trump. I think he continues to win the news cycles. Harris has not done anything of note other than simply call everybody on our team a fascist, which I guess is like, it's almost like I guess we get to pick our insults, Walz has called us all Nazis. That's her idiot sidekick. She uses the word fascist. I guess that's just so she can include the warm and fuzzy type fascists like Mussolini and whatnot, not just to pin us down to just, German fascists. She wants to be more encompassing and more all-inclusive. And then Joe Biden has called us everything, and now his latest one is garbage, which is kind of funny in a way, in that it's like, you guys have called us Nazis, you've called Trump a Nazi, which of course makes us Nazis by association, and we all just kind of go, yeah, we're just, tired of it, we're not really paying attention. But call us garbage? Oh my God, that's just right out. You're calling us garbage? It's like that scene from Semi-Pro. That's a Will Ferrell movie, which is pretty funny. I know he's a leftist, and most of yous will have nothing to do with him, but some of his stuff is pretty funny. And there's a scene in there where he's making fun of the language, basically, that a bunch of guys are playing poker and they're ranking each other, making jokes about each other, and just stuff that's like totally over the line. I slept with your wife, you falsified your war record. And then the one guy calls another guy a jive turkey. And they all just go, whoa, oh man, you had to go there. That's just right out. Jive turkey, that is terrible. And then they're all shocked by what he just said. It's like, that's kind of like this garbage comment. It's like, I don't know, it's like, fine, you're calling me a Nazi, so garbage, okay, fine, Joe Biden is just disgusting. I wish he had stayed in, because beating him would be so much more fun than beating Kamala Harris, because Joe Biden is a disgusting human being. He is the lowest of the low. So for him to call me garbage, that's like a compliment. It's like, well, if you think I'm garbage, that means apparently I'm so much different than you that you find me contemptible. I'll take that as a compliment, sir. You know, garbage. Yeah, here I am in my barn, and you know, what they're basically telling you is, we hate you. We think you're nothing. And we knew this. And a lot of people out there don't know this is how they feel about you. So for that to be instructive for those type of people, good. You know, this is a good thing, that they do hate you. They absolutely hate you poor people out here. Us poor people out here in the sticks, they hate us. They hate us. They want us to go away. Whatever that means, you know, move, sit down and shut up, just go right to the cemetery and die. They'd be okay with any of that. Joe Biden certainly would be. So, you know, am I garbage? No. I'll embrace the term. If if it upsets Joe Biden, yeah, sure, I'm garbage. Yeah, I don't dress that well. I don't buy new clothes that often. I'm driving a 8-year-old car that has 2 hubcaps on it. Yeah, sure. You know, I think redneck I like a little better, but garbage. Now I'll tell you who wasn't garbage and was a big Trump supporter. That was my father. He was not garbage, and he loved Donald Trump. He's dead now. So on behalf of my dead father, Joe Biden, you can go straight to hell. And you will. It's just a short matter of time. The road's getting very short for you, Joe Biden. Hell's coming for you, buddy. I don't think you're going to like it very much. So, yeah. I saw this in the news, and I thought it was interesting. There was a guy, I guess, in 2016. His name was Douglas Mackey. He's just a dude that made funny memes on the internet. He made one before the 2016 election. It was basically saying that, hey, all Hillary voters, make sure you vote on Wednesday. You know, ha ha ha, because everybody knows the election's on Tuesday. So, or it was something like that. Or you could text your, it was something like that. Something like you could text your vote to such and such number. You know, that kind of thing. Ha ha ha, everyone knows that you can't text your vote in. So that type of deal. So once Joe Biden gets in power, he immediately arrests this guy and charges him with trying to influence or conspiracy to alter the election results, and convicts him. The guy is convicted and I believe sent to jail for 7 months. 7 months for making a funny meme, which Joe Biden considers trying to alter the election. Well, here last night, apparently Jimmy Kimmel made the joke on national television that all Trump voters should vote Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. How is that any different? How is this any different than what they sent Douglas Mackey to jail for? So, you know, are the police coming to Jimmy Kimmel's studio apartment, or, well, I guess I should say penthouse apartment? Are they coming there to come get him? Of course they're not. Of course they're not. It's just, you know, when they talk fascism, when they talk Nazism, when they talk dual tracks of justice, they're referring to themselves. They are the Nazis. They are the fascists. They are the totalitarians that are putting people in jail for free political speech. I saw that Steve Bannon just did his 4-month jail term and was released. Him, Peter Navarro, all the other J6ers that are rotting in jail for, some of them just for walking through the Capitol. It's obscene. These people are obscene, awful people. Yeah, the betting markets is what's bothering me. But, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. And I look at them and I just keep saying, it's like, I don't see anything in these numbers that are bad for us. I really don't. You know, at this point, the polls are almost irrelevant. They're there. We're looking at them. They don't seem to be totally moving much one way or the other. They seem to pretty much landed in that range where every battleground state is within one or 2 points either way. But these early voting, I think that is significant. This is information. It's meaningful information. And unquestionably, the Republicans are outperforming their normal performances in the battleground states. They're turning out in numbers more than usual. North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, here in Pennsylvania. I talked about this in the last video where on election day, the Democrats generally had about I would say 1.4. I think I got this up here as 1.1, and I don't know why that's there. I was looking at some other numbers, and I think in 20, their lead in mail-in ballots, in other words, this is how many Democrat votes are in the bank on election day due to the mail-in ballots. It was a huge number. It was like 1.4 million votes. And the Republicans still almost made it up. Lost. We ended up losing by 80,000 votes. Well, they're not getting anywhere near those kind of votes this time. They're just not sending in the ballots or making the request for the ballots. They haven't even requested anywhere near that number of ballots. Right now, it looks like they're going to come in between 400,000 and 500,000 lead, compared to 1.4 million. That's almost a million vote difference. We lost by 80,000, just to give you, an idea of what that means. So these aren't just abstract numbers or terms to you. 80,000 is nowhere near the size of a million votes. Now, can all those million Democrats just show up on election day? Or are they all just going, well, okay, the pandemic's over and I'll just vote in person this time? Yeah, they surely could. But why would they? I mean, they've been given a perfectly reasonable way to vote, and they did it, and now they've chosen not to do it. They've chosen to go back to the old way. Some of them will do that. All of them? No. People generally do what they're used to doing, which is one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable that the Republicans are going to turn their asses out on Tuesday, just because that's what we do. That's what we have done. Really, if the same number of dudes show up on Tuesday that did in 20, same number of people, same people really, just come out on Tuesday like they did 4 years ago, we're going to win. We're going to have more votes than they are. I feel pretty good about that. Something they've been throwing around in the last 24 hours, and I think both sides are okay with this. In other words, the Republicans aren't pushing back on it because they see it useful to their purposes. The Democrats are using it to make themselves feel better. Is this gender gap? There's a gender gap. All the early votes are showing that all women are voting. The women are voting. The women are voting early, and oh my God, we know all the women are voting for Harris, right? We've been told that. And I think that is accurate. There is a gap. The majority of women, regardless of party, are voting for Harris. The majority of men, regardless of party, are voting for Trump. That's how that's going. So the women are voting early. It's like, is this meaningful? So what I did to try to figure this out was, what is the rate that the gender gap in 20? And that was hard. It wasn't easy to figure out, but I did it. And so this is off a Newsweek article today. They said 56 to 43 in Pennsylvania. Oh my God, we're losing. Oh my God. Again, million short. They're a million short from what they did in 20. A million short. regardless of what the gap is. So 1 million short. But, that's the percentage that's being turned in early of women. So they're mostly, if not all, Democrat votes coming in. Well, not all. Here's 43. We're getting some of them. What does this mean? Okay, 20, what the hell was that? I don't know. Not important. In 20, best I could figure, and I went back, I just chose a county, and I've got an old a voter roll from Pennsylvania. So I went through it, and I was trying to figure out, okay, let's figure out who voted by mail, and it listed in there. You can query it and figure it out and filter it and sort it. And let's make a long story short, what I come up with was 55.1 to 44.9. So, roughly 55-45 of the early vote in the county I chose, which was Erie County. Why'd you pick Erie? Well, I picked Erie because it was a county that split almost 50-50 in 20. 50-50 GOP Democrat. So I thought, well, that's, bellwether county. So what was the gender gap in this bellwether county? And the gender gap's 10 points. 10 points, 55-45. So is it slightly, very slightly tilting towards women? Maybe. I mean, frankly, I think if I had queried or did the whole state, and that would have brought in a lot more Democrat early votes because you would have gotten Philadelphia, Chester County, Delaware County, Montgomery County, which would all be heavy Democrat early votes, of which the majority would be women, because the majority of Democrats are women. This number would be right around that. Who knows, it might even be higher than that. So this gender gap thing, that, in other words, all the women are voting, we're losing. No, not true. Not true. So, and you'll never know. I mean, in other words, you get the early vote, but you don't know who voted for who. They split that out, obviously. You don't have your vote attached to your name. So they'll have votes, but they won't know who voted for who. So the only way you're going to know from that is exit polls, and those are always kind of, is that true? Is that not true? It's a poll. It's not, they're as accurate as they are, which is sometimes not very. So you're never going to know who voted for who. Hell, I could tell you an anecdotal story right now. A friend of the program, his wife's a Democrat. She's a Democrat, a white woman Democrat. That is ground zero for Kamala Harris. That is her wheelhouse. She voted for Trump. She thinks that Harris is an idiot, which is kudos for her because it shows, A, she's paying attention, B, she has an IQ above room temperature. So good for her. Oh, what else has been going on? Yeah, this could be an abbreviated episode just because I'm just worn down. I was looking at the Nevada numbers, and I went to a guy, I think his name is John Ralston, Jon, John Ralston. And he, I guess, follows the Nevada politics. And I guess the way they do it in Nevada is that 80% of the votes come in before Election Day. I don't know. Maybe, well, hell, you ever seen the movie Tremors? I've always thought that took place in the, like the no man's land in Nevada, where you're out in the middle of geographic isolation, as I think the one character called it. So you're many, many miles from anywhere. So maybe that's why they just mail their votes in, just because it's an effort to drive to town to vote. So that's why 80% of the votes are already in by Election Day. So you can tell a lot about how things are going before Election Day. Well, the Republicans are kicking ass. by any objective measure this cycle. They're just turning in votes way higher percentages than normal. It's such that this guy's basically saying, he isn't saying the Republicans have it in the bag and there's no way the Democrats can win, but he is, I think if you gave him truth serum, he would say, yeah, it's more likely than not that they're going to flip Nevada and win it. Which to me, you know, Trump won, he lost that state by 2 to 3 points, I believe, and going by memory. So if that happens and that holds, you know, that kind of is what I feel. You know, it's kind of what I feel, that he's going to make up about 2 to 3 points across the board. That'll carry him over in Arizona. That'll carry him over in Georgia. That'll carry him over in Pennsylvania. That'll carry him over in Wisconsin. And he'll be real close in Michigan. That's kind of how the numbers feel like they're coming down to me. You know, it's just not this wave of enthusiasm for this idiot Harris. You know, her whole, I had an epiphany. You know, like I said, the polls not moving harder in Trump's favor, the betting market's dropping, that's making me sad and nervous. But everything else just screams Trump's going to win. The stock market, the way the money's being bet, it's being bet as if Trump has won. These are smart people with lots of money. Why is Jeff Bezos, owner of the Washington Post, not endorsing Kamala Harris, a candidate his newspaper has pushed relentlessly every day of this election cycle? Why is he not endorsing her? Well, he's trying to curry favor with the guy he thinks is going to win. He doesn't want to get put under a Trump Department of Justice microscope. Why is Warren Buffett doing the same thing? He's not endorsing, he's clearly a leftist. Why did Mark Zuckerberg not donate $500 million to leftist Democrat precincts to get out the vote this cycle? Again, all these very rich, very smart billionaires are hedging their bets on the side of Donald Trump. They know things. These are the guys that get the information first. So the way they're acting, all this, it just, I mean, I read Kamala Harris pulled down a ad buy this weekend. She had a couple $1 million laid out for an ad buy in North Carolina. She's pulled those ads. She's keeping the money in her pocket. She must not think she can win North Carolina. Well, okay, that's good for us. That's good for us. Why is Donald Trump in Albuquerque, New Mexico? What's he doing there? He must think that he's got a shot in some of these other states, that he's doing so well in some of these battleground states that he can go ahead and expand the map. I don't know. It's just like every last thing. And then there's this fascist deal, that these guys have just come down. That's their closing argument, that Trump is Hitler. And I cannot, it's annoying, it's aggravating, it's ugly, it's flat evil, because what it's doing is, you know, my guys had 2 people try to kill him, 1 missing by inches, and I tie it all straight back to their rhetoric, which they have never apologized for, and in fact, after each assassination attempt, they just ratcheted up more. It's like, good God, you people are evil. And when I say they're evil, I'm talking about the Democrat media, the Democrat Party leadership. I always try to draw those distinctions, and sometimes I say things out of aggravation or passion where maybe I lump in the Democrat voter too. I don't hate the Democrat voter. Hell, some of my closest family members are Democrats. I just think they're ignorant. They choose not to educate themselves about what's going on. They listen to people tell them that Trump's Hitler. He's clearly not. I saw Bill Maher. I think his explanation when he was trying to explain to Megyn Kelly why Trump is Hitler, and he was saying that, well, when Hitler was in the 30s, he wasn't that bad. But then in the 40s, it got out of control. So that's why, Trump on his first term, that was kind of like the 30s Hitler. It was kind of like, yeah, it's just a dude. And but then when he gets in again, it's going to be World War II Hitler, where we're going to really, get the camps and the gas chambers and the whatnot. And I'm thinking, you are a dumb motherfucker. I mean, you clearly know nothing about Hitler, because the 30s Hitler was no picnic. He was a tyrant in the 30s. I mean, it wasn't as pronounced, and the whole world didn't know it, but he was killing people in the 30s too, Bill. He absolutely was. So, and of course, Donald Trump's done none of that. None of it, nothing even remotely. Frankly, Donald Trump behaved pretty much like a normal United States president. Pretty much. The occasional rough tweet, which frankly, I don't think, if Andrew Jackson 200 years ago had Twitter, I doubt some of the things he would have said would have passed for Shakespearean dialogue. But, Donald Trump, Harry Truman, not exactly an educated or a well-spoken man. He was a very blunt, very direct. Everybody seemed to like him for it. Give him hell, Harry. But, Donald Trump, he, of course, is treated as a monster because he speaks roughly. So back to this Hitler crap. It dawned on me the other day that this election's probably over and Donald Trump's won. We just don't know it yet. We just haven't seen them count the numbers up, and it hasn't been made official yet. And why do I say this? It's this Hitler nonsense. So why are they doing this? It's not working. I don't think it's working at all. It's not their best argument. And I think they've already concluded, they being the Harris campaign, the Obama campaign. Obama, he's the one pulling the strings of Harris, more or less. I think they've already concluded they've lost. Probably Obama more than Harris. And he's just decided, well, let's just cut bait and we'll just move on. Now, why does the Hitler thing help them move on? Well, they're planning for the Trump presidency, the second Trump term. Glenn Beck was talking about this, I heard on the radio with Megyn Kelly. They almost had it, but not quite. They weren't quite getting it. They think that they're setting the stage for the interim between November 5th and January, 20th, the inauguration, that they're going to try to not certify Trump, that they'll try to take him out in some fashion. They're not going to do that. They're not that dumb. It didn't work for Trump. It's not going to work for them, basically for the same reasons. Anytime one of these Democrat friends of mine brings up the January 6th and tells me it's an insurrection and how awful it was, it pisses me off. It really does, because it was nothing of the sort. Furthermore, it's almost like they're assuming that had they actually been able to get in there and somehow get what they wanted, which I guess would be that the certification of the election would be either held up or overturned, and they would just magically say, okay, because a bunch of angry guys came into the Capitol, we're now decided that Donald Trump has won. The people like me would have said, yeah, I'm all aboard on that. I wouldn't have said that at all. I would have said, you can't do that. You can't do that. Where's our justification for that? Where's our evidence? You know, we know goddamn well they cheated, but we really don't have a hell of a lot of proof about it right now. Given enough time, we could probably get the proof, but that's the hell of it. There never is enough time. So, you know, where's your proof? And we would go, well, we know you did it, and we're pretty sure you did it, but you wouldn't be able to justify it. And there's no way in the world that every last Trump supporter or Trump voter in 20 would have said, yep, it's time for a revolution. And the same thing would happen if the Democrats tried this. I mean, if they suddenly tell America, after Donald Trump has won enough votes to win the Electoral College and win the election, and then they're going to go do what? Say that he's an insurrectionist? He won the damn election. There's your insurrection. It happened on November 5th. So what, they're going to try to prevent him from taking office? I mean, my mother's going to vote for Harris. She's not going to stand for that. I'm going to say, are you kidding me? You voted for Harris. And you think this is cool? You think this is okay? She'll go, you know, she'll talk into her shirt, but, you know, ultimately, no, she won't think it's okay. You know, sure, I could think of some Harris voters that I know, they'll be all for it, but I think there's a good number of them that'll go, you can't do this. And the same thing would have happened had this riot, this idiotic thing they call an insurrection, had they actually brought weapons and actually gotten to that point, nobody would have supported it. They did not have the support of the people. And the Democrats, won't either. So what's the point of the fascist stuff? It's when he takes office. On the 21st of January, when Trump goes and says, Chris Wray, FBI director, you're fired, that's when they're going to try to impeach him, just try to tie him up in court, call him Hitler. He's firing people. Oh, that's Hitler, I told you. He wants total control. You know, and obviously this is all stuff that he has a complete total right to do, things that previous presidents have done. Almost every last one of them have fired people. So whatever Trump does, they're going to call him Hitler and just go over this whole, you know, he's exercising executive power. He can't do that. He's a fascist. Of course, it won't make sense, but they're just going to scream it anyway and just try to, you know, confuse you and just say it enough times that you'll go, gee, I am kind of concerned. He did fire the FBI director. Why did he do that? Because the guy's rank incompetent, plus he's in the tank for the other team. Where's the investigation on the 2 assassination attempts? What's been done there? I mean, the guy is an abject, either he's communist or he's a collaborator with the Marxist Democrats. Either way, they lost the election, so he does not get to stay in his position. Trump has every right to put people that have the same ideological bent as he does in positions. He does not have to live with people that have been there just because they've been there, especially since his first term demonstrated that a lot of these people are actively out to sabotage him. So, yeah, if he's awake, if he's paying attention, if he's learned anything from his first term, yeah, he should hopefully hit the ground running in January and just start wholesale firing people. That's what we want. That's what the people that vote for Trump want. We want you to drain the swamp. Do it. Build the wall. Do these things that you're campaigning on. So yeah, I mean, I kind of think that the Harris or the Obama campaign, the Obama's whatever, 4th term, I think that he's already seen the writing on the wall. He's saying, we're going to lose. That's why this Hitler stuff. He's already fighting the next battle. This is not designed to win the election. It's not helping them win the election. What it's designed to do is help them win the next battle, which will be when Trump starts trying to make changes in the government. That's when they're going to attack and try to stop him through any means necessary. And remember, assassination is always on the table for these people. It's always on the table for these people. They've already tried twice. So at any point in time, they can pull that off. They will do it. They want Trump dead. There's no question about that. They don't want to make a deal with him. They don't want to make nice with him. They want him dead. So Trump has to be aware of that. He's got, 5-6 days to go. 5-6 days to go. We got 5-6 days to go. I can't wait till this is over. I really can't. I'm worn out. Really am getting just worn the hell out on this. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't voted, do it. I mean, it's I don't even know who, is there anybody out there like that listening to what I'm saying that does not vote? I mean, why would you listen to some guy talk about politics for half an hour if you don't vote? So I guess I'm talking to the converted. Every time I say, you go vote, is there anyone there sitting there going, I don't vote, but I follow politics pretty closely. I don't know if that person exists. So, I guess I should go, I don't know, maybe go to the ball game. Maybe that's where I'd find people. It's like, are you voting? Vote on what? Who's going to win the NBA MVP? Sure, I think Shaq should win it. That type of thing. What else is here? I don't know. Like I said, the numbers, how Elon Musk tweeted out about this mail-in deficit for the Democrats here in Pennsylvania. He tweeted out basically mirroring my thinking. He did this within the last day or two and said Pennsylvania will be a comfortable win. And I thought, yes, this guy's smart. I'm smart, but this guy's probably smarter than I am. He's certainly richer and more powerful than I am. So if he's thinking that way, now granted, we're both obviously partisans, so I don't know, maybe we're wearing those rose-colored glasses and are not seeing correctly, but we're both seeing it the same way. We're going to win Pennsylvania, and we're going to win this election. So I'm going to be there Tuesday morning down at the polls. I'm going to have my list. I'm going to be checking it twice. I'm going to make sure that hopefully all the Republicans show up and they're nice, and we don't have any naughty people that stay home. Let's see. I figure 800 people. If we can get 800 people down there to the polls, we'll win. We'll win. I'm not saying if we get 700, we're going to lose, but 800 would be safe, and let's hope we can do it. Let's hope we can do it. All right, I don't know what else to say. Go Trump. Pray to God. Let's win. I believe in free speech, and I'll talk to you later.